Hello, beautiful ladies. Today, we are going to dive into something that I don't think is talked about enough in the functional space, in the holistic health and wellness space. And if you don't know me yet, my name is Lexi Corrett. I am a functional gut and hormone coach. I own Fierce and Feminine. And within my practice and within my coaching program, I also work alongside a team of clinicians that support my clients. Now, I want to tell you a story about a client who just joined my program about a month ago. She came to me with so much bloating, inconsistent bowel movements, an absent period. She's in grad school, so she's just beginning her life. She was torn between seeing a gastroenterologist, continuing to work with her functional practitioner that she had done some work with, and she had just run a GI map before we started working together. So I tell you all of this because this might sound very familiar to you. You might be in the process of doing all these things. And what I'm hoping to bring to you today is I want you to pause. Pause what you're doing. Really take some time to listen to what I'm about to tell you, because the thing that I see so often is women who are experiencing gut issues, right? I was one of those women too, so I totally get it. We get very fixated on fixing the issue as quickly as possible. And when you've been dealing with it for 5, 10, 15 years, I understand that this is what you are prioritizing. You've had enough. You don't want to live with the gut issues, the food intolerances, the chronic bloating anymore. And so you've decided to seek out health, and you've heard a ton of things about running a GI map, understanding if you have too much, bacteria in your stomach, if you don't have enough, and just really like getting in there and fixing it up. Okay? That's what I see a lot in the functional space still. And that's exactly what my client was about to embark on before she met me. So we talked, I went through everything with her. I explained to her how her metabolic health connects to her gut health, how her gut health connects to her hormone health, and how you cannot start in the middle and see sustainable long-term change. Yes, you can see a reduction in symptoms. And symptoms are the bloating, the constipation, the food intolerances, but those are not the root causes. So she decided that she was going to join Fierce and Feminine. She came in. I'll say after a month of working together, she has had her period back for the first time in over a decade. She is experiencing so much less bloating on a day-to-day basis. She used to wake up bloated. Now she wakes up, she feels good. We're still working through, obviously, metabolic health and then transitioning into gut health, which I'm going to explain. But why I want to tell you her story is because I want you to know that you can see radical change right from the beginning, but you have to be understanding and looking at the root cause. If you're not doing that, you're going to find yourself in these loops where you start to feel a little bit better and then you backslide, start to feel a little bit better and then you backslide. And there's nothing more frustrating than that. And my personal journey that I went on is I kept doing that. And then the practitioners that I was working with kept just cutting things out of my diet. Low FODMAP diet forever, no garlic and onions. You're never going to be able to, go out to eat and enjoy a meal out. Just be prepared that you'll have to come home and be in bed for the rest of the night, okay? And that was just not cutting it for me. And so she came in to the program. She had just gotten a GI map run, and I am really grateful because I get to explain to you guys why this should not have been the first step, but how we can still support her during this journey and get her amazing results. So a GI map, why we don't start with that. When you are having any type of hormonal or GI symptoms, irregular periods, constipation, diarrhea, food intolerances, okay, all the works, there is something going on in your metabolic capacity. I'm talking your body's ability to regulate blood sugar, your body's ability to detoxify through the liver's capacity, okay? The ratio between HDL and LDL cholesterol, your kidney function, oxidative stress, okay? So all of these create the foundations of your health. And so if we are just jumping into, let's just look at the gut in isolation and let's look to see if the bacteria is overgrown or not enough, well, amazing that we have this example now. She had the GI map, and so one of my practitioners took her through, and she found that we do have an overgrowth of good bacteria. However, her liver is struggling so much right now that if we were to put antimicrobials into a protocol for her, her body would go backwards. She would feel so much worse. She would probably have to start eliminating more foods. She would experience more bloating. She would experience more fatigue. And it's because her body is not ready for that yet. Now, what we do instead is we are going to actually look at the liver, support it, and then help her body restore blood sugar regulation. Then once we see improvements there, then we will introduce the antimicrobials to restore gut balance. So as you can see, it's not just about you have too much bacteria, you don't have enough, you have an overgrowth, right? That can be part of the problem. But without understanding if your body's actually ready to restore homeostasis and restore balance, you're going to be adding fuel to the fire. That's the other thing I see so often with women who haven't done the testing yet, but they see a lot of ads for supplementation, probiotics, prebiotics, right? And they start adding all of these things in, and all of a sudden their stomach hurts way worse. They're more sensitive to food. They're having diarrhea and urgency all day long, and they have no idea why. That was me too, all right? It's because you're adding more fuel to the fire. Yes, these interventions are going to probably be necessary as we move into a healing process. But at the beginning, that's kind of like you want to run a marathon. Think about this. You want to run a marathon, but you want to just start in the middle of the race and you want to start sprinting without warming up, right? Your body is going to not make it through the race, right? You're starting in the middle, which is, you know, you're not going to be able to finish and get a medal or a time or say that you actually like ran that full race. Your joints are going to take a hit because you're not warmed up. It's the same thing that your body is experiencing here. So what I want you to take away from today is that there's a process that healing happens in, and metabolic is that first stop. It's not the sexy part. It's not the part that everyone wants to talk about, right? But it is a crucial piece to this puzzle, because then what you see is, like my client Mia, is that when you start addressing metabolic health, she already has seen a period again, like I said, for the first time in a decade. Right? We haven't even touched hormone testing yet. We haven't done anything with hormones in isolation, yet she is seeing this symptom of an irregular cycle start to go away already, right? Start to resolve itself. So if this is you and you're like, wow, just, I want to figure out my gut issues. I want to figure out my hormone issues, but I don't really understand what you mean by restoring metabolic health. DM me metabolic and let's talk through it.